Riley Luong, why this live so buns? Well, it's probably the only buns you'll see in your life. Anyways, we're going with the team reviews now. For the people who don't know who Mdot is, he also makes Haikyu Fly High videos. He's a up and coming, I guess you could say, a newly added member to the community. So he's specifically focuses on things like peak challenge and skill resonance on players and stuff like that. So make sure to check out his channel. All right, so the first team review for today we have from Dav. And they say, down the line, I want to get SP Oikawa, Iwaizumi, and either SP Nishinoya, Ushijima, or any SP middle blocker. Should I go for the Kuro rebanner in the meantime and get Komori as well? So the first question being, should they get the UR Kuro? It's not really necessary in my opinion. I don't know. What do you think?
UR Kuro, I think, like you said, I don't think it's necessary, especially because there's going to be other middle blockers that you can get anyways in the future that would probably support this team. For now, that Yaku and Liev bond there is sufficient enough to kind of, hold itself. Once you get Komori, though, I would probably switch out Liev for, like, I see you have Washio on the bench. I think he would be a pretty good fit here in terms of more of a blocker, right?
Yeah, individually, Lev is probably not the best middle blocker to have, but because he's there with Yaku, it's fine for now. And I do agree, like maybe having a Washio or like a different middle blocker that's an SSR, you can put him in after you get Komori. So I kind of agree there.
Yeah, but for the Kuro, I don't think it's worth it at this point. He says he wants to get SP Oikawa, SP Oizumi. Yeah, no, I mean, that's very far in the future. So I don't think you have to worry about that right now, because in terms of like saving for it, there's so many banners in between that, so you don't have to worry too much about that. The only thing is any SP middle blocker. So I don't know, maybe you want to put in the SP Kuro when he comes out, or like a SP Tsuki.
A lot of like the big misconception out there is that these SP characters are going to be coming out very like frequently, but that's just not the case.
It's far from now for sure. The thing is, with how things are going, they are speeding up the banners, right, compared to what they have in JP and Taiwan.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I think in JP it might be 3 weeks. I don't know if that's correct. And we'll have banners running alongside each other as well, and only for 2 weeks. So I get what they mean. If in terms of saving and stuff, it might be tougher in global, but I think that's also why our currency is also less.
So what would you rate this team out of 10, sir?
Out of 10, I do like. Okay, so in terms of the team synergy, you have the Liev and Yaku there for quick, but you have a power setter. I would say like a 7, because that bond is still pretty good, and then you have like all the other like required power players anyways. So I would say 7. But once you get Komori for sure, and then you replace your Liev with a better actual blocker, middle blocker, I could bump that up to like an 8.5 maybe.
So what's your rating based off of like scale wise? Because I've said mine a bunch of times, but like what do you look for?
I like to think of current to near future right now, because you know me, I'm more so the meta, right? So
yeah,
I always look at meta at this point in the game, and maybe like with the next couple banners. But I remember you said that you also take SPs into account, right?
Yeah. Somebody in my chat says, "I'm not feeling okay. It might just be me, but he sounds nasally." Listen, this Canada winter,
there's a cold, there's a flu going around. I was sick, really sick last week. If you saw my like most recent videos, I was like nasally as shit. Like it was bad.
Dude, this Canadian weather,
yeah,
the Canadian cold during October through December is no joke. I think for me personally, I do like that it's mostly power based, and yeah, I do understand the Lev and Yaku kind of being out of place here. But I do like the bonds that they do have. I'd probably say this team's a 7.5 out of 10. But yeah, a couple of additions, you definitely are in that 8 to 9 range. Don't think I've done this team. This team looks very interesting. So we have Super M and says, what should I do next? Should I hold and focus my current team and wait for SP Akashi and Bokuto? Interesting. So they went with the Dati Tech 4. And then they have Akaji with Kurai and Hirugami. So their question being, should they just wait for the SP, Akashi, and Bokuto at this point? I don't know. What do you think? Because their setter is this dude. And do we want to
Uh,
stick out with him till March or whatever, till
yeah,
February?
yeah. I do think probably getting a at least an SSR setter. Maybe if you can get like Kanji or something, you still
Yeah.
have that bond, right? If you want to keep that bond.
If we actually look at this thread here, he does post another thing. When is that? 3 days later, and he does actually have the kanji. At the very least, he did. I guess
You got that
somebody,
upgrade.
yeah, somebody kind of let him know. Yeah, again, basically just piggybacking off of what you said is this is very much usable for the meantime.
I think this is actually a great synergy team.
It
If you're
really
looking
is.
at Hirogami and Hoshiumi there, because they're all blockers, like this is like a great blocking team.
It is. It really is because
Uh,
everybody here has the blocking tag, I believe, right?
yeah, this is not. I wouldn't say this is like completely meta because obviously you don't see Dateko in like the top 100 or whatever.
No.
But for yeah, for like free to play, I think this is pretty impressive being able to get this specific team. I just don't know where you'd want to go in the future because you have to, sacrifice the team bond.
Yeah, that's the only issue I see is that, like, yeah, you could get a Komori here and replace a Kaji, but in terms of really improving your team in the future, the main positions are here, so you're gonna have to break it up eventually. I would probably start first with maybe getting rid of Kanji, even though he's a new addition, just because the setter kind of sets the tone for your team. At the end of the day, like, this is actually one of the more unique teams I've ever seen doing these team reviews, which is always fun to see. For me personally, in terms of a team rating, I would probably give this. I want to give it a higher rating, but it just doesn't stack up with the better
I do
teams.
too. Yeah.
So I would have to give it like a 7.
I was gonna go lower. I was gonna go 6 because I gave the other one like a 7. So with this, I
Oh yeah,
like
that's
the
fair.
uniqueness of the team. Uniqueness wise, this is like a 8.5, like 8 to 9 out
Yeah,
of 10. But in terms of like in the meta, yeah, this is like a 6 probably. The thing is with this team, you have so much potential. You can go anywhere, right? You have so many different options because you're basically building around Kamo meta here,
yeah.
right? You're not locked to getting any other type of position or bonds, team bonds. No, sorry, player bonds. Yeah, you have so many options that you can go through.
So the next team, I don't know what your name is, but they said again, not too sure as to what I'm doing here right now. I'm trying to get Hirugami to replace Ione or Suki, but other than that, I'm pretty stuck on what to do next. Should I go for more bond/school bonds? This is the only issue with doing these team reviews is because there's so many that I just can't keep up. So I'm assuming that they didn't pick them up,
Hmm.
Hirugami. So going based off that, they said
Hmm.
what to do next in terms of, because obviously they don't have a school bond here, and it's kind of hard to do any school bond when you have one Shiratorizawa, one Alba Josai, one Datetek, one Fukuradani, one, you know what I mean? And also, if you look at your team rating, you're kind of entering that phase of team bond not being the main priority, if I would say. I would look at more dual bonds. So, like you said, like getting Hirugami would be ideal here because you have Karai.
Putting Tendo in for Ione here could increase the team's, I guess, viability. But if you don't have the resources for that at the moment, then that's fine. I think Ione can stay there and then maybe pick up an SP middle blocker, maybe get the SP Ione, right?
Yeah.
In the future. I think the actual team itself is actually really good. They know how to focus around like power, especially because you have Nishinoya there. Yeah, I find Nishinoya really good, especially for the power teams. Yeah, I think this is still pretty solid. It's just the middle blocker that's the weakness. So I think picking up any other type of maybe SP or a rerun of like Hirogami or something in the future, that would work as well.
I wouldn't be too pressed on like changing your team too much because this is still a very good team. But like you said,
It's like a
like
good core. Yeah.
the middle blockers though are just the kind of I wouldn't say the weak spot of your team, but it's definitely the easiest place that you can improve. So for a rating out of 10, what would you give this team?
This one is like a 7.5 for me.
Yeah, it's definitely better than the last team, but I don't think it's better than the first team that we saw. Yeah, I think I'll agree with you on the 7.5. Just a couple of
Yeah,
additions here will make it better. It's
it's
still a very solid
solid
team.
core. Solid core. Yeah, just making those additions, I think it'll you can bump it up for sure.
Let's get into the next one. So we have Leo who says, I want to get Oikawa, but what should I do next? Sakuza Komori, thank you, love your videos. Thank you for the support. They want to get Sakuza Komori as well as Oikawa.
Yes, those three will definitely. That's the best power team right now.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's literally
Yeah.
the best team you could have is Oikawa here. Sakuza here, Komori here, you keep the rest of your guys, and then you have Tendo for the Ushijima bond.
Right.
Let's just say they had to prioritize. Let's just say one, and then maybe two.
I think Oikawa would be a good upgrade, but I do think the priority here is Komori.
Why is that?
Because, well, obviously you have Yaku there, but he supports quick teams, right? And I don't see a Nishinoya on the bench. And assuming if he does have a Nishinoya, he probably doesn't have him duped either. So that's not going to be as useful. Komori is going to be the only UR libero for a while, or at least until SP Nishinoya comes out. And I think that would be a way bigger upgrade to this team because you'll have a rarer type of player, I guess, in terms of like liberos, whereas there's other types of SSR or not SSR, UR setters that you can get or SP setters that you can get that are coming out, right?
Yeah, so that makes a ton of sense. Yeah. No, like as Komori is like the Swiss Army knife when it comes to characters coming out, where you can really just put him anywhere in any team and he'll benefit you in some way, shape, or form. When it comes to the other two, having Akashi as your setter, like for now, like right now it's level 47, so they must have recently got him, but he is, in my opinion, the best SSR setter, especially for power attack based teams. So you could definitely ride him out for a little bit. Iwaizumi here, I mean, it's not like he's out of place. He's definitely a viable power wing spiker. And so, yeah, having Yaku here is not really benefiting the team in any way other than his like individual kind of skills. Yeah, definitely getting Komori would be the priority. I would say, honestly, if you can't pick up Sakuza, then I would just ride out with this team plus Komori until a different option comes out. You really have to be smart with your resources in terms of pulling people in this game. Getting Oikawa, would it help? Yes. Getting Sakuza, would it help? Yes. But it's like, you have to kind of pick and choose.
Yeah. And I see Shin's comment. It says, wouldn't it be better if you got Komori and Bokuto since he has Akashi? I think that's also viable if we were to pick two.
Yeah.
But I do think just getting Komori would be good enough, and then maybe saving for SP, Akashi, and Bokuto would be better.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, is that's definitely an option. Yeah, he already has the Akashi, but I think at this point, for people who didn't pick up Bokuto the first time around, myself included, picking him up now with his rebanner doesn't make a ton of sense because the SP1 is scheduled to come out, relatively soon. It's not like Oikawa Iwaizumi, for example, which I believe like the timeline for us is like in the summer of next year, maybe June, something like that.
It came out in Japan like last month, right? Like
yeah, it was like in October, so it's gonna be a very long time. If Bokuto was slated to be released then, that changes the question a lot.
Yeah.
Right. But because that's not the case and they're supposed to come out in like end of February, that's still relatively soon. Yeah, at that point, I would just like wait for the SP Beach Trio to come out. Alrighty, so what would you rate this team out of 10?
It's not bad. 6.5. I wouldn't say it's better than any of the 7s that we've seen so far. I would say 6.5. Getting Komori will bring it up to a 7.
I'm gonna agree with you here. But the only thing for me is that the only person that really sticks out is Yaku for not fitting in. So I'm more inclined to lean towards 7, but I think I'll agree with you on the 6.5.
Oh, my team review. That's what he meant.
Oh, his actual team. Oh, sure. Why not? All right, sir. Yeah, your team is Inarasaki based.
Rate my team.
This team sucks. It's a 0 out of 10. This team is bullshit. No, I'm joking.
I don't have the bond. It's a 0. Like I was saying, I think that starting there with Sakusa was doing better for me than having Kita there.
Dude, you have an SSR libero? You suck, dude. Dude, you're not even in the top 3 for P Challenge. Just get good.
I know, not in the top 3.
Get good.
I was, and then this guy took over.
It's very interesting because obviously you have the Mia twins, and you actually pointed out something earlier before we jumped into a call, is you actually prefer to have Sakusa starting over having the team bond. Why is that?
So my Sakusa, if you look at him, he's pretty duped up.
God damn.
Yeah. So with Sakusa though, his rating itself is way higher. It brings the team rating way higher than just Kita and the team bond.
Right.
And also find it easier with Sakusa as well in terms of like spiking because Kita does not have a spike.
Right.
And then there is a certain turn, I guess, where I'm on cooldown because Kita doesn't have a spike. So having Sakusa there is way more worth it because then I have Osamu, Korai, and then Sakusa available to spike. I do have the Ushi and the Oikawa on the bench, so I would sub them in for the twins if they get tired.
You have a 0 dupe Ushijima. You suck, dude. You don't even have his memory.
Yeah.
God damn.
I don't.
Get good.
my Okawa's only level
Oh
7.
my god, dude, you suck, man. Jeez, what the heck? Look at these potentials, dude. Level 6? My goodness, couldn't be me. Could never be me. Yeah, in terms of your team, I mean, you can't really get much better than that in terms of an Inarizaki team, if we're being totally honest. Because like, yeah, you could put in Kita, but like you said, there's drawbacks to that. And then obviously you have Karai Hirogami.
Yeah. I think if you do get the max Kita or like a 6 dupe Kita, and then your Sakusa's only at 1 dupe, then that's a pretty good argument to
Holy
keep
crap.
Kita in. Oh, I bought the get chain back, that's why.
Oh yeah, my bad. I forgot that was a thing. Yeah, same thing with Aaron. He had a chain back.
I didn't do the RN chain back because
Yeah.
I was trying to save. But I do want him to be duped up for club contest. So I'm working on that. But yeah, there's an argument there if you have a really high dupe SSR but only 0 dupe UR. So in that case, some people might have that situation where I think Kita would be better.
Oh my god, you got Kurai's memory ascended too? My lord.
Yeah, I went all out for Korai. The next person I'm going to go all out for is Kenma. I want a Kenma team.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
This receives. Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, I'd probably rate your team like a 9 out of 10, maybe 8.5. I think when Komori comes in, that's probably like you could then like substitute Osamu and Atsumu for Oikawa and Ushijima, and the rating wouldn't really change if I'm being totally honest at that point. Like you just get to choose whether you want the twins or you want these two. So I would say probably right now an 8. Yeah, I'll give it a 8.5, and then Komori comes in, that's probably like a 9 out of 10. Is that Valo? They said, hey, I've been playing the game for 2 weeks. I had a bit of luck with URs, but I don't know what to do now. I was thinking about a Tachiyama duo, Kurai and Oikawa. Any advice? So they do have an update here. So let's just look at the updated team. I would say, like, if you can get Komori, that would be your number one priority. Don't worry about anybody else. But if you can't, then what should they do next?
You do have Oikawa coming out today as well. I would probably skip Oikawa for Komori here. Yeah, like if you were to get Komori, try to put all your resources into Komori. Not worry too much about Oikawa. If you do miss Komori, I think Oikawa would be a good, I guess, next target.
Yeah.
Obviously, Korai and the Rebanner, which we don't know when that's going to come, just so you get that bond with Hirogami. And then for that other middle blocker spot, that could be anything. Any SP middle blocker in the future, that could work.
Yeah, I agree. So what would you rate this team out of 10?
Out of 10, I would probably say a 6.
Yeah, I was leaning 6 as well. They said, I believe this person said this is my team. They said, by the way, I got Ushijima in first pull.
Damn.
Please clarify that was first 10 pull and not first single pull. Because if that was a single UR ticket, I'm going to find you and I'm going to do bad things to you.
I knew I wanted the twins, so I'm like, I'm going to skip Ushijima. But then I got FOMO.
You seen this?
Yeah.
This dude,
Hirogami at 14.
He pulled.
What the heck?
He pulled Ushijima on a single UR ticket, and Hirogami at 14.
Dude, just pull for every UR then.
You might as well. And then how much was Sakusa? Tell me Sakusa was at least like 70.
Like 100 at least.
All right, let's go next to Blocks, who says fully free to play. So let's keep that in mind. I'm probably going for Sakusa, trying because I only have 3,000 gems. Do I keep using this rotation? He says, yes, my team is just my best players. Looking at the team, definitely a new player. Nothing wrong with that. But there are some bonds here, right?
He posted an update, so you can look at the other picture.
Cool. Whoa, dude had a full-on glow up. What the heck?
Yeah, was that like a week, I think?
Wait, but where did Hirogami go? Dude just dipped.
That's his other account, he says. He has multiple accounts, Shin says.
Okay. Thanks for clarifying. He has like 5? Jesus.
the reroll.
Okay, that makes a ton more
All right.
sense.
He just got Sakusa, so we don't know if he's able to get Komori. If he's able to get Komori, I think that would be the best play here. If not, there's so many options.
Well, I think he's in a pretty good spot, even if he doesn't pick up Komori, because he still has the Yaku Lev bond there.
Yep. If you can't get Komori, Oikawa UR might be a good choice to get because he's coming up soon. I think this is such an early game team that it's hard to really give a direction
Yeah.
because there's so many directions you can go.
I think, like, yeah, like if you can't get Komori, don't panic because you have the Yaku Lev duo right there. But looking at the rest of your team, where to go next, like the only thing that makes sense to me is the UR Oikawa. And at that point, you would probably just, like, if you don't pick him up, or even if you do pick him up, at that point, you just might as well start saving for SPs at that point. And then for this team,
It's a little bit better.
it's at least a 5.5. It might be pushing 6.
It's at least, yes. Definitely better than the other team.
Yeah.
You know, all SSRs. And this team has so much potential. So give it that 5.5.
Cool
Maybe 6.
beans. Again, thank you guys so much for joining, and thank you Mdot again. Make sure to check out his stuff. Again, if you just go on YouTube and search Mdot HQ, then you will see his stuff. If you're in the Discord, go to the self-promo section. His stuff is also in there. And like always, make sure to leave a like on all the streams. Follow and subscribe like usual. And Mdot, do you have anything else you want to say?
No, thanks for having me on this team reviews. I'm glad I'm able to give the input that I can. Hopefully we can do more in the future. And yeah, if you guys can give me a quick, follow or subscribe on YouTube. Feel free to like and comment on my videos if you have any questions.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is definitely not gonna be the last time we do a collab stream. This is actually the first collab on my channel, which is pretty exciting. It came together last second. That was my bad. I was supposed to contact you yesterday, but I just completely forgot.
No worries.
Yeah, and that's gonna be pretty much it. So thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
Peace.